out of here.
Let me just see if I can filter that out. Feels like it's got a good pitch.
Hi. How you doing? Pretty good. Pretty good. Hanging with the kids these days. Yeah. So there's. Oh. I think you got it there, Cassie. I tried to get here before you guys. Eat something. And I talked to Brian about it yesterday, and here I am in the living room. Now, yeah, well, 1, 2. It sounds like she got that buzz finger. It's less. Oh, live mic the guitar. Well, yeah. There's not a lot of that going on with this hand. Yeah. I haven't solo played in front of anybody in a very long time. I was good to see it. Yeah, I've discovered these picks, which when they rotate in between my fingers, I get a new point after a while. Because this thumb is numb. Yeah. So I don't, I really have to attend to what I'm doing. So, all right, let's see. Part of this is after almost 3 years of not playing guitar at all, I'm slowly regaining, but the sequel was challenging as long as I sing. Something about the spread of it, finger placement for the left hand. I'm not pursuing music at this point. Thanks. Well, if you think you've got a mix, I'll just sit here and let my fingers warm up. Oh, getting a thumbs up. Yay, Cassie. All right. I want to flip off the PA there, or the amp. Give me the buzz in the meantime. I'm gonna stand there rolling. No. I'll tell you what. I don't have real good attack.
Giving you your own mic for your solos.
Okay.
Brian, I think we're fine. It's done. It's fine.
Okay. You tell me. It's how it matters what it sounds like out there. So here are the cool nights. Well, here are the cool nights. I don't know about that, but it's just way loud. Do you really want it that loud? Okay. Okay.
Celeste, can I measure this mic for you? Set this one up.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's pretty loud. And that's probably fine because my antenna is okay. Well, if you're happy with the sound out there. And I thought I was getting here early enough to be in front of these guys. Yeah. All righty. Well.
Good morning. And welcome to this service of worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson. My name is Thomas Gregg, and I will be your worship associate for this morning. Our community is striving to become as varied as the blooms of the Sonoran Desert. Whoever you are, whoever you have been, and whoever you are becoming, I invite you to bring your whole self here now. We no longer require that masks be worn in worship or in concurrent religious education. If you are feeling sick, we encourage you to join us from home on YouTube. Based on our last poll, UUCT members are committed to being fully vaccinated and boosted. For all of our sakes, especially those most vulnerable, please, let's maintain that commitment. If you need to use the bathroom, there are 2 gender-inclusive bathrooms through the door to your left, down the hallway, and the first left. I extend a special welcome to visitors and invite you to fill out a guest information card, which are located in the Welcome Center to your left and behind you, and in the newcomer section of our website. We will meet for social hour after the service right here in Goddard. There will be coffee, iced tea, lemonade, and some snacks, and of course, good company. And I have one more announcement. If you haven't found time to get pajamas for the Angel Heart Pajama Project, you can buy them for $10 in the back of Goddard after the service. These pajamas go to children as they're being taken from their homes to be placed in foster care.
Little tiny words for Call to Worship this morning come from the poet May Sarton. This was initially published in the New York Times on Christmas Eve, 1974. Some of you will remember that in 1974, the Vietnam War, long resisted and long protested, was nearly over. We were in the midst and approaching the Cold War with no end in sight. May Sarton wrote this poem in 1974, and I think for 2023. These are her words. In the year of the darkness, in the year of the words, the millions of words, accusing, excusing, breaking, demanding, lying, refusing. In the year of the desert, in the year of the burning, in the year of the bombs, when hatred pollutes the air, when what we long for is silence. There have been so many deaths, but not one funeral. No way to mark the place, set terror at rest, say fini, no time for mourning, no healing zone. In the year of the failures, the drying up of waters, we have been stricken, one by one, as though by plague. No one sleeps without dread. Each struggles to survive alone, longing, deeply afraid in the night. Even the whales are dying. Who punishes? Who forgives? What have we done? Must we go to Bethlehem, make the hard journey again, dying of thirst as we are? Must we go to the place of hatred and war without end? Must it all be done again from the beginning after 2,000 years? Yes, sick at heart, plagues lost as we are, let us make the hard journey. Who can be sure? But perhaps if we go there, it will happen again. It will happen to us. An infant be born again out of blood and on filthy straw. How naked, how vulnerable, how desperately in need. This breath between past and future, the infant hope. Oh, shall we kneel again at last in the healing hosanna of silence? Yes, let us make the journey. Perhaps it will happen again. To symbolize the beginning of this Christmas Eve, Tom Gregg will now light our chalice here in Goddard. If you're joining us online and you'd like to light a chalice or candle, please do that now with us.
Our first hymn is "The Hills Are Bare at Bethlehem," 232 in the gray hymnal. Would you please rise and find assurance in this first carol today? The hills are bare at Bethlehem, no future for the world they show, yet here will lie
now the longest night of the year, people of many traditions around the world light candles, make fires, and we do this in common and in similar ways to remind ourselves that the light will come, and also that there is learning to do in these darkest days. In a moment, I will invite anyone who would like to come forward to light a candle. The candle may mean many things to many people, and it can mean whatever you need it to mean. My invitation today is that we light candles for peace to grow in the coming year. Peace to grow within us, and between us, and among us, and beyond us. So as you take a candle, please set that intention to bring more peace into your own being, into a particular relationship that is fraught, or a set of relationships. And from this personal intention, our peace, our light will radiate out into the world. As you come forward to light candles, please come down the center aisle and leave as you down the edges. And as you come forward, we are going to sing Silent Night together.
Sing the first verse a cappella. Ready? just sleep in heavenly peace. One last time. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in
Our words for prayer, contemplation, and meditation today come from Dr. Maya Angelou. She wrote this poem, Amazing Peace, for the 2005 White House tree lighting ceremony. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Flood waters await us in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and gray and threatening. We question ourselves, what have we done to so affront nature? We worry God, are you there? Are you there really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters. Streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancor, come the way of friendship. It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence, and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Flood waters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches breeding in dark corridors. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first, it is too soft, then only half heard. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now. It is louder, louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for, not just the absence of war, but true peace, a harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We, Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, come, peace. Come and fill us and our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Jainist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us, so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves and to each other. At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues at the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud, peace. We look at our world and speak the world aloud, peace. peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, beloved. Peace, my sibling. Peace, my soul.
Please rise as you are willing and able, and bring the hope and reflection of Maya Angelou into the singing of It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. Words will be projected on the screen. It's 244 in the gray hymnal.
Each year, we designate our Christmas Eve offerings to go to the minister's discretionary fund. Every week, some seasons every day, people come to this church's doorstep in need. Sometimes all they need is for someone to just see them, give them a warm welcome. Sometimes they need a water bottle refilled or some food if we have some. Sometimes they need help with rent or a utility bill. They need their car fixed or a safe place to park. Sometimes they just need someone to simply tell them that their life is worth living. Our administrator, Mary Weiss, and I have at least one specific story for each of these examples. And there are some needs we can fill, and some needs we cannot meet. The minister's discretionary fund helps us meet more of these needs than we otherwise could. This past year alone, this fund has paid numerous rent payments to keep members of our congregation in safe and secure housing. It has helped with utility bills to keep lights and AC and heat on. It has supported car repairs that allowed our members to keep their jobs and paid for plumbing repairs to keep water on. The minister's discretionary fund is under the sole discretion of the minister and is used to support the needs within our congregation and beyond, which cannot be filled by other social service agencies. Each dollar you put in the offering tonight will go towards someone in need. Most of Tucson is just one medical emergency away from crisis, or one drastic life change away from poverty, if we are not already there. So this fund is for you. It is for your neighbor, the one you know and the one you do not yet know. If you are writing a check, you can make it out to UUCT and put MDF in the memo. If you'd like to give online, you can go to uuctucson.org/donate and put your donation in the minister's discretionary fund line. Please give generously to support this fund.
Our reading today is called The Risk of Birth, an Advent poem by Madeline L'Engle. She writes, "This is no time for a child to be born, with the earth betrayed by war and hate, and a comet slashing the sky to warn that time runs out and the sun burns late. That was no time for a child to be born, in a land in the crushing grip of Rome. Honor and truth were trampled by scorn, yet here did the Savior make his home. When is the time for love to be born? The inn is full on the planet Earth, and by a comet the sky is torn, yet love still takes the risk of birth.
Many of us know the story. The call for a census to raise more taxes, and Herod's rising fear of losing power, his call to kill all the male babies in the vicinity of Bethlehem. We have heard of the teenagers in love, one of them pregnant with the Messiah. We have heard of their long, hard journey to Bethlehem and the donkey who helped get them there. We know the story about there being no room in the inn and one single innkeeper really just taking pity on the young couple and offering them a place to rest in the stable. And there, the Messiah, the Savior, baby Jesus is born, surrounded by animals and swaddled, as so many newborns have been and are still. A star appears over the stable, and shepherds are urged by a band of pretty frightening angels to bring their flocks to see the baby. More wise people journey to the manger with gifts to anoint the holy child, and these wise, wise people, knowing what Herod would do with knowledge of Jesus' whereabouts, they go home rather than back to Herod. The Holy Family escapes to Egypt for fear of their lives and their livelihoods. And even if you've never heard the story, never read the verses, you know this story because you have been subject to injustice. You have complied with unjust power because you had no other choice. You have carried or cared for a miracle. You have been told there's no place for you. You have made space for the outcast, sometimes out of pity and other times out of deep love. You have told legit strangers about something great and exciting that could change the world. You have picked up everything you own in search of deeper meaning. You have journeyed long distances to witness a thing of beauty, to behold it and to bless it. You have escaped persecution and death and found at least temporary safety in another place. The Christmas story is not factually correct. By all accounts, Jesus was probably born sometime in the spring. The celebration of the birth of Jesus around December 25th most likely began as an effort to weaken the pagan holiday Saturnalia in the Roman Empire in the 4th century, but I digress. Christmas has to happen now, this time of year and every year. Because in the season of long nights and short days, what do we need more than a reminder that peace and hope and justice has been born? In times such as these, what do we need more than a reminder that peace, hope, and justice will be born again? Seeds take root in the darkness of soil, and so too the thing that sustains us and gives us the courage to go on are born in the darkest days. The Christmas story reminds us that hope and peace and justice are born in darkness. It's one of the surprises and wonders of the Christmas story. In the Christmas story, nothing happens as we expected. Hope is born when we least expect it, to two poor teenagers who will soon be asylum seekers. Justice is born where we least expect it, in a cow trough, surrounded by animals, with sheep herders and magi as the first visitors. Peace is born when we least expect it, to a people living under occupation on a land their ancestors have tended. Very little in the Christmas story happens as we expect it to, which is why this story has captivated so many hearts over time. And this year, part of what the Christmas story is telling me is that the birth of Jesus is Bethlehem. This year, part of the pertinence of the Christmas story is that the birth of Jesus happens in Bethlehem. We know what is happening in Bethlehem now in those same lands. Bethlehem is under siege, and thousands of children and babies have been murdered in Gaza and the West Bank. Those who have survived are fleeing for their lives. And yet the Christmas story tells us that the King of Peace and the Queen of Justice and the prophets of hope will be born in the most unexpected circumstances, under war, under forced migration, and in poverty. So what if, just what if, amidst the war and the forced migration and poverty, a future prophet is being born in Gaza today? Prophets are not born in comfortable circumstances. They arise out of communities who have survived something. Prophets are born of the personal and communal lived experience of struggle and resilience in the midst of marginalization and oppression. Prophets arise from countries at war and communities under siege, which leads me to believe that hope is being born in Gaza today, and justice is being born in the West Bank today, and peace is being born in Palestine today. Watch closely for the signs of justice's birth. Listen closely for the faint cries of hope's first breaths. Peace arises out of, not after, the war. Peace is being born in Gaza tonight. The poet says, "This is no time for a child to be born, yet love still takes the risk of birth." Peace, too, takes the risk of birth. And we can be the ones to receive that newborn. We can be the ones to swaddle peace and keep it safe from the cold and wind. We can be the ones to come and witness peace's arrival into the world. We can be the ones to offer peace our extravagant gifts, not because peace needs them, but because we must honor and mark peace's arrival in a way that is significant to us. We can be the ones to welcome peace this year and to carry the knowledge of its arrival with us. My colleague, Reverend Dan Schatz, writes a Christmas poem every year, and this is his poem this year. Angels sang of peace, and we heard them out above the fields. First, whispers, then a rising throng, singing, shouting, thrilling, a promise, a prayer, a plea, peace. On earth, peace. So we followed a star to an infant child, all wrapped in stable rags, shared the news angels had brought us, and went upon our way. But in my heart, though years have gone, choirs have never stilled. Angels sang of peace, a promise, a prayer, a plea. On earth, peace. My hope for us this year is that we look out for peace. We listen for peace's cries. We carry peace's message and story with us into all the corners of our lives. Peace is born in the darkest days of the year. Peace is born in times of war. Peace is born when and where we least expect it. Peace is born tonight, here, and everywhere. Be vigilant, be aware, be hopeful. Peace is on the way, friends.
The year was 1940, and you will excuse me today if at times I choke up. My name is Francis Tolliver. I come from Liverpool. 2 years ago, the war was waiting for me after school. From Belgium on to Flanders, to Germany to here. I fought for king and country I loved dear. 'Twas Christmas in the trenches, where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were still, no Christmas song was sung. Our families back in England were toasting us that day. They're brave and glorious lads, so far away. I was lying with my messmate on the cold and rocky ground when across the field of battle came the most peculiar sound. Says I, now listen up, me boys, each soldier strained to hear, as one young German voice sang out so clear. He's singing bloody well, you know, my partner says to me. So one by one, each German voice joined in harmony. The cannons rested silent. The gas cloud rolled no more, as Christmas brought us respite from the war. As soon as they had finished, and a reverent pause was spent, God rest ye merry gentlemen, struck up some lads from Kent. The next day sang was Stille Nacht, to silent night, says I. In two tongues one song filled up that sky. There's someone coming towards us here, the frontline sentry cried. All sights were fixed on one lone figure coming from their side. His truce flag like a Christmas star shone on that plain so bright as he bravely strode unarmed into the night. Soon one by one on either side strode into no man's land with neither gun nor bayonet. We met there hand to hand. We shared some secret brandy and wished each other well. And in a flare-lit soccer game, we gave them hell. We traded chocolates and cigarettes, showed photographs from home. These sons and fathers far away from families of their own. Young Sanders played his squeeze box, and they had a violin. This curious and unlikely band of men. Soon daylight stole upon us. France was France once more. With sad farewells we each began to settle back to war. But that question haunted every heart that lived that wondrous night. Whose family have I fixed within my sights? 'Twas Christmas in the trenches, where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were warmed when songs of peace were sung. The frozen fields of France were warmed as songs of peace were sung. And the walls they built between us to exact the work of war crumbled and were gone forevermore. My name is Francis Tolliver. In Liverpool I dwell. Each Christmas comes since World War I. I learned a lesson well, that the ones who call the shots are never there among the dead and lame. And on each end of the rifle, we're the same.
Thank you, Eb. Many of us know the story that Eb is singing about. This is World War I, 1914, the great Christmas Eve truce, where the men in the trenches laid down their arms and played soccer and shared wine and brandy with each other and sang Christmas carols. Part of what we might not know is that the officers did not want this to happen. The officers wanted to prevent the men, and they said, no, for this one night, we are going to see the other not as the other, but as part of our own family. They sang Silent Night, or perhaps Come All Ye Faithful. They shared their food and they shared their Christmas stories. They shared pictures of their families with each other. And it was not long before the night ended and they all went back to their trenches and they picked up their arms again. And so today I ask us the questions of what if? What if they hadn't? What if they had laid their guns down for good that night? What if they had not gone back to their war? What if they'd been able to see the opposition as their own family, night after night? Where would we be? And what if we today lay down our arms, our literal arms and the arms that we carry in our hearts as we move forward? What if?
The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown.
Rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir.
The holly bears a blossom as white as any flower, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to be our sweet Savior.
The rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the organ, sweet singing in the choir.
The holly bears a berry as red as any blood, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to do poor sinners good.
The rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the organ, sweet singing in the choir.
The holly bears a prickle as sharp as any thorn, and Mary
Thank you, choir. Let us still the world for a moment. Let it be blanketed by a soft darkness that quiets. Let us be brought to our knees by innocence, by hope, by peace. On this day, let something be born in us that heals all brokenness, that does not bow down to hatred and fear, but rather meets them gently and offers them love. Let us choose all the gifts of life we are offered. Today is about the impossible, but no more so than any other impossibility that fills our days. So let us embrace a story, a myth, if for a moment. Let us be carried away in its arms, held tenderly, rocked, comforted. Let this day, these stories transform our hearts, that we may become joy, hope, love, peace, enfleshed, incarnate. May it be so, and amen.
up in the cabin. Those ears up in the cabin.
Yeah, I know it.